Before the sun breaks over the horizon, Malik is already awake, already moving, already walking toward a training facility most people will never set foot in. He knows how to swim. He's known since he was a kid. But what he's about to learn has almost nothing to do with what he already knows. Because becoming a commercial diver isn't about being comfortable in water. It's about being useful in an environment that doesn't care whether you're comfortable or not. An environment with no light, no air, and no room for hesitation. Malik is here to find out if his body and his mind can handle that. And this morning, that journey begins with something deceptively simple. His legs, his lungs, and his willingness to keep going when it gets hard. The first thing they ask of him isn't water. It's the ground beneath his feet, stretching, mobility work, then running, real running, the kind that burns in your chest before you've even settled into a rhythm. It looks basic. It isn't. Commercial divers spend hours working underwater, often against currents, carrying heavy equipment, exerting real physical force to complete real physical tasks. A diver's heart and lungs have to support that kind of sustained effort while the body is also fighting water pressure and resistance. So before Malik ever gets near a pool, his trainers are building the engine that will carry him through everything else. Cardiovascular endurance isn't a bonus skill for a diver. It's the foundation. He pushes through the run, and by the end, his legs are heavy and his breathing is ragged. Nobody's pretending this is easy. Then comes the strength work, controlled, repetitive, unglamorous. Lifting, holding, resisting. A trainer stands beside him, watching his form, pushing him past the point where his arms want to quit. This isn't about building show muscles. It's about muscular endurance, the ability to keep working long after fatigue sets in, because underwater, there's no convenient moment to stop and rest. Then the tires, flipping them, dragging them, using them to build functional strength in his hips, his back, his shoulders. All the places a diver depends on when he's manipulating tools, lines, or heavy components beneath the surface. By the time this first stretch of training ends, Malik is exhausted in a way that's hard to fake. His body is asking him to stop. And this is where something important gets revealed about the profession he's chasing. Fatigue isn't just an inconvenience for a commercial diver. It's a genuine safety concern. A diver who can't push through tiredness on land is a diver who might struggle to think clearly and move efficiently underwater, where every decision matters more and mistakes are far less forgiving. So this exhaustion Malik feels right now isn't a failure. It's the whole point. His trainers need to know, and he needs to know whether he can keep functioning, keep his head clear, and keep making good decisions even when his body is screaming at him to quit. From the gym, Malik moves into a classroom, and the lesson shifts from muscle to physiology. Here, instructors talk about lung capacity, breath control, and the way the human body responds to pressure and depth. This is where an important truth gets established early, and Malik takes it seriously. Professional divers do not simply hold their breath and go. That's not how the job works, and treating it that way would be dangerous. Commercial divers train their bodies and their breathing so they can work efficiently and safely, but in the field, they rely on specialized breathing equipment and strict, well-established procedures designed by people who understand exactly how the human body behaves under pressure. The physical training Malik is doing builds the discipline and body awareness that make him a safer, more capable diver later, not a person trying to defy his own biology underwater. Understanding your lungs, your breathing rhythm, and your body's signals is preparation. It's not a substitute for the real safety systems that keep divers alive. With that foundation in place, Malik finally steps toward the pool. This is the moment where a lot of people assume the hard part is over. It isn't. Knowing how to swim recreationally and being water competent enough for commercial diving work are two very different things. Malik eases into the water, and almost immediately, the drills reveal the gap between casual swimming and professional-level water skills. It isn't just about staying afloat. It's about moving with purpose, conserving energy, and maintaining control even when his arms and legs are already tired from everything that came before. He swims lap after lap. His stroke isn't perfect. Some of it is clumsy, but he keeps going, and slowly his form starts to tighten. His trainers watch his body positioning, his breathing pattern, the efficiency of every stroke. In commercial diving, wasted motion is wasted energy, and underwater energy is a limited resource you can't afford to burn carelessly. Swimming endurance isn't about speed for its own sake. It's about building a body that can move efficiently and sustain effort for long working periods, because real diving jobs aren't quick. They can stretch on for hours, and a diver who tires quickly becomes a liability to the job and to the people counting on him. Then Malik goes under the surface for real, and everything changes again. Underwater, there's no casual breathing, no simple visual reference, no familiar sense of up and down the way there is on land. Malik has to learn to stay level-headed while his body adjusts to submerged movement and controlled breathing technique. He isn't alone down there. A professional diver works directly with him, correcting his positioning, showing him how to move efficiently instead of fighting the water. This is one of the most important lessons of the entire program. Real diving skill isn't something you figure out through instinct. It's taught, corrected, and refined by people who've already done the job and know exactly what keeps a diver safe and effective. Close underwater moments reveal the real cost of this work. The pressure, the controlled tension in his jaw, the discipline it takes not to rush, not to panic, even when something feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable. This is the psychological core of commercial diving that people rarely talk about. Underwater, panic is one of the most dangerous things a diver can experience, because panic leads to poor decisions, wasted air, and unsafe movement. So part of what Malik is building here isn't physical at all. It's mental. He's teaching his mind to stay calm, present, and clear-headed in an environment that constantly tries to unsettle him. An instructor walks him through proper underwater swimming technique, breaking down body position, kick efficiency, and how to conserve energy while staying oriented. Malik listens, adjusts, tries again. Then come the fins, new equipment, new resistance, new demands on muscles he thought he'd already tested. Group swimming sessions push him further, forcing him to sustain effort alongside others, matching pace, working as part of a team rather than just pushing through alone. Because in the real diving world, very few tasks are done in isolation. Divers coordinate with surface crews, dive partners, and support teams constantly. The training escalates. More advanced underwater drills. Timed swims that test not just speed, but consistency under pressure. There are moments where Malik visibly struggles, where his stroke breaks down, where his breathing gets ragged, where doubt creeps into his face. Nobody edits that struggle out because it's real and it matters. Progress in this kind of training doesn't come from natural talent. It comes from repetition, correction, and the refusal to quit when things get difficult. And slowly, almost without him realizing it happening in real time, something shifts. His movements underwater become smoother. His breathing steadies. The uncertainty that once controlled his face starts to give way to focus. By the time he finishes a timed performance test, there's a version of Malik in the water that didn't exist when this journey began. Later, standing in front of a mirror, Malik looks at himself differently. Not because his body looks dramatically different, though the work has clearly changed him, but because he understands something now that he didn't understand before. Confidence in this profession doesn't come from fearlessness. It comes from preparation, from knowing that his lungs, his muscles, his mind, and his discipline have all been tested and sharpened for a reason. Malik steps outside the training facility as the sun sits higher in the sky than it did when this all began. He's not a finished professional yet. He knows that, but he's no longer the same person who walked in exhausted and uncertain. He has built a body that can endure. He has learned to control his breathing with purpose. He has trained his mind to stay calm underwater instead of panicking. He has learned that professional diving means relying on real equipment, real procedures, and real supervision, not raw instinct. But everything he's done so far has taken place in controlled conditions. A pool, clear water, a shallow, forgiving environment built for training. The real commercial diving world is nothing like that. Out there, the water turns dark. The visibility drops. The equipment gets heavier, the pressure gets more serious, and the margin for error gets smaller. Malik has learned how to prepare his body and his mind. Now comes the real test. What happens when he has to take everything he's learned here and carry it into open water, into a working dive site, where the stakes are no longer simulated at all?